So if you put your catfish in ice overnight, warm it up with some warm water. Dude, that thing looks like it got hit by a cannonball. Okay, so narrate what you're doing.
So if you just want to get a nice good grip on the thing, and right now I don't need a solid grip until I start pulling the skin. So what I'm going to do before I need to get that nice grip, I'm just doing this because I don't want. So we're going to come. You can feel kind of a bone here. This is the meat. From here, there's the backbone. So we're gonna start to cut a little bit here.
Just in case, I'm gonna get an extra towel.
That's not a bad idea. And you just want to come in here around this bone. And sometimes I take the back edge of the knife and just get up under that skin. You don't want to go too deep.
Just getting through the skin.
That's why your knife needs to be sharp. Yeah, we're just worried about the skin at this point. Because eventually, after I peel this skin back, I'm going to take the knife and I'm just going to start finding
the bones and
the
run them
rib.
down, just like
Yeah.
most fish.
I'm going to start finding the ribs and I'm going to slowly.
But I think this is the weird part for most people is the skin part is different than
Oh, it definitely
any
is.
other fish I've ever caught.
Yeah. So we're just going to go around the dorsal fin. There again, just not cutting too deep. And we're going to go down the backbone here. And I know you're not supposed to cut towards yourself. I just want to make sure I break the skin.
How thick is the catfish skin? 1/8 of an inch?
No,
Not that thick?
no. And you can start to see meat. Okay? So I'm just behind his head. And you can already see that I'm into the flesh, the meat. And that's fine. Cutting deep here is fine. We're just trying to salvage as much meat from this fish as possible without, you don't want to ruin it. You don't want too much going to waste. Right here over the backbone, I can cut a little deeper.
Because you know you have the bone guides.
I know I'm right next to that backbone and into the meat under the skin. All right. So we're going to do that all the way down. There's another fin right here that we're just cutting around. And we'll do this all the way down to the tail. And when you get to about here on the tail, that's it. There's a little bit of meat there. It's not worth messing with. And that might not even be a lot. Okay?
So you're just cutting deep enough to where you can flap that skin up.
Yep. So we're about to start to peel. Now this side is where you want to be a little bit more careful that you don't get, you want to kind of find where the meat and the guts are, but the guts are all in here. So we don't really have to worry too much about it. So I'm going to turn the thing around and I'm going to go the other way. See, I might be too far down here. We'll figure that out after we peel it. And then here's more crucial, where you don't want to get too deep, because you're going to get into some things you don't want to see. And you can almost see you can almost see the color change. And you want to stay right near and above where that color changes. Right back up around this fin. And I'm not too deep. I'm
just the tip.
1/4 to 1/2 inch.
Just the tip.
And here's another crucial spot where you want to draw a line. You want to draw a line from where you started up here down to this fin. So we don't want to go this way, we want to go that way. All right. There again, you can see the meat. Now here's the part where you really need the rag, because the fish is slippery and slimy. And what I do is I put the rag up there and I just grab them by the head, nice and tight. Take your catfish pliers. And just start grabbing into that skin. You don't want to get too much at once. And you only want skin. And there again, you can take your knife and kind of
help separate it.
Yep, see, just a little bit. See how I'm just folding that skin back just a hair?
Mm-hmm.
And I might be too forward here, but you're gonna see, you know, you're gonna know when you're into mainly just meat. I think I got it to the point where we can just start pulling it away.
So what is it about the catfish that makes its skin so like, you know, most fish you can just fry that skin and you can almost eat it.
And you can tell that this is, you know, this ain't easy. You've got to have, it takes practice. You don't, you know, and you don't want to go at it with anything but the catfish pliers. You're not going to want to take vice grips or anything like that. And if you start seeing that as you pull the skin away, you know, like here's a little bit of meat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
Then
noticed.
you get the knife.
I noticed that I was tearing meat with the skin.
Reseparate it.
And you just want to kind of get
Find that line.
another spot.
But what's the deal with the catfish skin that makes us not want to eat it?
I don't know. I'm nobody I know ever tried it.
Okay.
It's disgusting.
I think it has something to do with the way that they go to the bathroom through the skin.
Well, those are sharks.
Number
Certain
one.
types of sharks, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that that's true about a catfish.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
See, now that I took my time, and now I got it going on. There it is.
All the way down to your stop cut. Okay.
Yep, that's why you make that cut.
Yep.
And you can see that, you know, the meat's a little different color up here. And so we probably don't really want that. And now you're just gonna find the backbone. So I think we're a little too far up here. And now you're just looking to get into the most of that meat that you can.
Is there a membrane that holds all the guts?
Now I'm starting to get into some blood here. But after you find the backbone, and I'm going to trim this yellow meat back.
Yeah.
All right.
We can clean that up.
And you can feel that backbone. And so after you find the backbone, you just want to really gently, and I just take little
shortcuts at
a time. And once you find the ribs, your knife is just gonna follow right over the top of the ribs. That's why you do a
almost hear
little
it
tiny cuts at a
scraping.
time. And obviously people that do this more often than I do are gonna be quicker at it, you know. I'd love to see how the people that, you know, there's places you go to buy catfish and that's all they do is process catfish all day long. And I'd love to see that, how that works. And they have to be really good at it. And then once you get to the,
Thankfully, Bananas isn't paid hourly, so he can take as long as he wants.
once you get to the middle here, then you can start going the other direction. I don't know what you call that part. That might be the actual spine, I don't know. This might be the backbone up here, and that might be the actual spine where the ribs come and go both directions. So then I'm gonna start going
Down.
downwards.
So they switch directions right there.
Yep, right here, you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see where it goes this way and that way. And yeah, you just take slow. And I'm taking my time because I want, obviously, the most meat that I can get from the thing. And you can see that's gonna be a nice, that's 2 fillets.
Okay.
Unless you're really hungry. And then I'll show you, once we get this fillet off, how you check to see if you cut through any bones. You can feel them, you know? You definitely don't want to be, you don't want bones in your fillet, obviously. And the process is going to speed up here once I know where I'm at. Alright, we're a little bit deep there. I'm gonna come back here. Some on this side. We're getting into some of the ugly part here that nobody wants to really see. I'm trying to stay out of that as best as I can. I don't like to see it either.
Now some fish have really like tasty cheek muscles. Is a catfish like that?
I've never heard of that. And I think once you start to see the ugly part,
Mm-hmm.
I think the meat gets so thin at that point where you want to just kind of feel back here. You can find a spot. Yeah, there's bones there. So I think really I'm through the majority of it. Yep, I think right about there. It's not worth dealing with after that. So there we go. I'm gonna trim this back some. You know, even this membrane, you can go back and take some of that membrane out.
Okay.
This white membrane, you can trim that back because it's real chewy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and get some of that out after I get both my fillets off. Like I said, I'm gonna take some of this yellow meat off. Thank you. There's a little bit of extra skin right there. And taking this off is a little bit tedious, you know. You may not even bother doing it, but
We can do that later. Let's do the other fillet so that
alright.
then we mess with the.
So I can tell that meat seems thick right here, but it's also yellow on this side.
Yeah, I see
That's
it.
the fat side, you know. We don't need to bother with much of that.
You need a new towel?
No. And I'm just going to rinse that a little bit so you don't get it all over your countertop. Again, this is more of an outside activity.
Not at Eagle Ranch.
I'm going to do that again.
So same thing.
Same thing on the other side. It's just going the opposite direction. I'm going to go ahead and start down here. I can tell where I stopped on the other side.
Right.
And there's enough meat there that that's fine. So I'm just going to match that and go around the tail. Work my way up the backbone. Notice I haven't cut myself yet, which is always cool.
We do have a medical team standing by outside.
No bananas were harmed in the filming of this video. So there again, I'm going to look at the other side, and I just know that you know, starting all the way up here was really, you could cut some of that out and make little nuggets out of it if you wanted to. You know, you could fry that little piece up, but it's just not worth it. That's that goes to the critters.
The turtles.
So this time I'm going to start right here at the backbone and work my way across to this bottom fin. Not going too deep.
Just going down skin depth.
Well, no, I actually cut into the meat on that part.
Okay.
I was being a little bit too gentle with it to begin with, but now that I saw what happened on the first side, I can judge, you know, the second side, basically what we're looking at. You know, it's a big fish, you know.
Almost 7 pounds.
Yeah, the second side is probably going to go quicker because you know, you kind of know what's going on, you know what to expect. Yeah, it don't matter how sloppy your rag gets, you know. Now you understand why having a rag helps, because it just helps you get a better grip on that fish. I'm not gonna nail it to a tree. And they make fish cutting boards that, you know, have a clip on it. That clip ain't gonna hold this fish as well as you can hold it just with a rag. And you just want to make sure you don't stab yourself with this right here. That's crucial. You want to make sure you know where that is at all times. If you slip, you want to see that. And it's actually a point where you can grab and hold. That thing will pierce your skin and you'll never want to fillet a catfish again. There you go.
People are still lighting off fireworks.
Well, yeah, they're going to be doing that all weekend, bud. They don't call it 4th of July weekend for nothing.
Independence Day is what I call it. Yeah, I've heard walleye cheeks and even trout cheeks are good. Like there's a lot of good tasty meat up in the head of some fish.
Fish cheeks.
Yeah, because think about it, that's like their most used muscle other than their swimming muscles.
And I can already tell that I haven't cut into any of those bones. And this being a bigger fish, the bones are bigger, so
Mm-hmm.
the smaller the fish, the more bones you might get on them. And that meat doesn't look too bad on this side. It was more yellow on the other side, but I already knew there was yellow meat there, so I kind of already trimmed most of that out.
Because I think it got hit by a cannonball on one side. So we'll feed that to the turtles. Nothing's going to waste today.
We'll take that membrane out of there.
Yep, we'll do that in the next segment.
It's even more tedious because you're going to risk getting into the meat. So you just take your time and go slow. And if you were going to grill it or whatever, you could probably leave that right on there and do that side down. And then pull the meat off of it. But I fry mine. And I like to just not worry about none of that and eat the whole thing. Got that?
There we go.